Hello, my friend. Greetings from the Lunar Café, and today I bring you a lunar update on the crypto market. And I'm asking AI, what would a professional crypto portfolio look like in the current market? And for you degens, I've got some degen picks as well. I've forced Grok to give me the accumulated degen patterns at the moment. But before we go on, none of this is financial advice. This is just a bit of edutainment, and we're going to have a bit of fun in crypto. But specifically, we're going to talk today about what does a professional crypto portfolio look like? What would it look like at this stage in the market? Now, some would say it would look like a ton of stable coins and get out, get out. Now, that's a sensible option, my friends. Getting most of your position out until we see which way the market's going to go would probably be the sensible bet at the moment. But for you hardcore degens, for the people, the hodlers usually win. The hodlers win by two factors. One, they just get in and they stay in for the long term. And over time, that's where the real wins tend to happen. And the second thing is they only got money in that they can afford to lose. So they're not worried about it. They're not checking the market. But for everybody else, well, we're going to cover this today. We're going to have a little look at where the market is. We're going to look at what does AI say that a professional portfolio would look like. I've also been asking questions today that what are the questions that we should be asking that a professional investor would ask? And all of that's to do with the macro, the long-term holding. So a lot of these threads were long on my AI engines, but I've simplified it all. I've asked them all to give me an executive summary. So my friends, we look at the market today. We see Bitcoin. And we see, yes, it's up on the week, but it's had the last 24 hours have been a big downer, especially for things like, look, Dogecoin. Let's have a little look. Let's see what's been most affected in the last 24 hours. Now we see Humanity Protocol. I did a little video on that not so long ago. That's done well in the last 24 hours, and it's done well in the last 7 days as well. So on the other side of the scale of the top 100 coins, we see that some coins have been absolutely smacked, especially things like Sui. Aptos has taken a big slap. Arbitrum has taken a big slap. Now, some would say, oh, look, great entry point by the dip. Well, the point is with coins like even Arbitrum, which is a layer one, is yes, that is a dip, but that could go a lot lower. So we're going to cover stuff today. Let's start with ChatGPT. Now, we had a long thread and I asked it to summarize. We had a long conversation, me and ChatGPT, and I said, give me an executive summary. Please create an executive summary of the entire thread for a presentation. So here we are, the executive summary. And I've asked it a lot of questions about where we're at, what a good move would be, questions we should be asking. So let's look at this. So crypto markets are a transitional regime characterized by elevated Bitcoin dominance, uneven institutional flows, selective risk appetite rather than broad speculative excess. The environment rewards discipline, liquidity, and asymmetry. It's not indiscriminate risk taking. Okay, so the core insight, successful crypto investing today is less about prediction and more about correct market regime identification, rigorous risk and position sizing, clear entry and exit rules. So knowing exactly what price you're going to go in at and knowing what price you're coming out at is the way. This is what it's saying. Unless you're a hodler in for the long term. So recommendation crypto portfolio. I was asking what would a professional investor, what would they have in their portfolio at the moment? Now, this seems to be fairly universal, about 70% of their allocation in Bitcoin and Ethereum. And most of that is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the premium asset. 20% in opportunistic alts, and 10% your degen sleeve. Now that's for high risk investors. And I did say for a professional investor with a 10% degen portfolio. So that's not actually come from ChatGPT. That was a request that I put in. Possibly say to be in degen coins now is incredibly high risk, incredibly high risk. So some would say have a 10% in stable coins. That would probably be more sensible at the moment. So the current phase is neutral to early expansion, BTC led. Altcoin leadership fragmented, not broad based. And the key risks are liquidity shocks, macro volatility, and regulatory surprises. And of course, Trump talking about tariffs to the UK at the moment is one of the reasons why the market is down. So, strategic principles. Now, you can read through this, but I know that it might seem a little bit boring for some of you. So, let's get Perplexity's slant on thing. I said the same thing. So the conversation builds on a professional 2026 aware crypto investment framework. So that's what we're looking at here. So the portfolio purpose, crypto is treated as high volatility, return enhancer, usually a minority of total net worth, often 5 to 10%. So professional style allocation. Now this is important, my friends. So a sample from a real professional crypto bucket would have 35% Bitcoin, 20% Ethereum, 10% other large cap alts, and 10% sector leaders in DeFi, infrastructure, real world assets. So this keeps roughly 55%, which is slightly lower than the last one we said in Bitcoin and Ethereum. So however way you look at it, over half of your money should be in Bitcoin, Ethereum, most of it in Bitcoin at the moment. So sector focus. Now, one thing that I couldn't get out of Perplexity or Chat GPT was to give any names of any degen alts. It just would not do it, my friends. Would not do it. For that, I had to go to Grok. I had to go to Grok. Now, here we go. Degen rotation remains alive in early 2026, but the market shows mixed signals. Many low cap memes under 100 million are in post pump consolidation or light accumulation after the 2025 hype cycles, with only 18 to 25% displaying clear basing accumulation traits. So, a lot of memes are going to go absolutely under. And this is just to identify the coins that there is some sort of accumulation going. So the overall degen thesis is that momentum has cooled as of late 2025 peaks, Pepe, Bonk, and Whiff runs. But quiet smart money is loading invisible select names. XBuzz favors Solana meme coins, animal political narratives, top emerging themes, AI political review, pure degen with viral potential. So the top 5 elite degen accumulations, and really take this with a pinch of salt. But if you're going to go down the degen route, these are where the accumulations are happening according to Grok. Non-playable coin, GigaChat, PopCat, MogCoin, and Peanut the Squirrel. And you can see the scores here as to where they are. So here's a tiered breakdown. So microcaps, the coins scanned, 80 of them, percentage in the phase of 15%. So only 15% are getting any sort of accumulation, which means that most microcap, low cap meme coins are scams and they're going to lose you a lot of money. And it's important to look at this, my friends. There's going to be a lot of hype. There's going to be a lot of people blowing up about these nonsense coins, and most of them will lose you money. So, notable low cap degen chart. The top 15 degen candidates. And I want to highlight, my friends, I am not going in any of these right now. It's only because the degen coins that I presented on this channel tend to get me more views. So I'm not going to stop degens from being degens. So I'll give you the information according to Grok of where the accumulation is happening. And look at this column all the way down for low liquidity risk, mean volatility, post-pump correction risk, competition from newer cats with MogCoin, for example. High competition, extreme volatility, liquidity dips, narrative fatigue. There's a lot of risk in the degen game. Bearing that in mind, these are the top 15 with accumulation. So non-playable coin, GigaChat, PopCat, MogCat, Peanut the Squirrel, Cat in a Dog's World, Degen, Banana for Scale, Nero, Puff the Dragon, Snack, Comedian, and Goatius Maximus. There you go. Now, I don't want to talk much more about these. Let's talk about the top 100 coins. which is here is a summary, the top 5 elite accumulations. Now, this is a safer zone. Now, nothing's safe in crypto, but it's safer. So Bitcoin is the king, always is the king. 87 score out of 100. Ethereum 82, XRP 80, Tron 76, and Solana 74. So there you go. These are the whale buys. That's where they're heading at the moment. So notable accumulations chart. This is where the money's going. The most money is going. And you can see here, and look at the risks as well. We still have risks with all of these. Key on-chain signals. You can pause this and you can look in more detail at this chart if you want. But these are the top 10 accumulations. And it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Tron, Solana, Cardano, Chainlink, and Avalanche. No surprises there, my friends, because all of these have some sort of ETF exposure or pending exposure in ETFs, which means that the big money has access to these coins. Now, we can talk about the risks and all of the other stuff. The important part is we're in a stage in the cycle where some people think we're going into a much deeper bear market, that we could see much lower prices. And some people think that this is a cycle unlike any other cycle that we've had. And this is just it's an accumulation stage. And this is a classic flush out of retail. Now, this is one thing that is a fact. When retail exit crypto, and that has largely happened right now, is usually a sign for the big money to get in and to drive the price up. Because the way that retail operates, they only go in when prices are rising, and that's exactly the wrong time to get in. The right time could be now, or sensible professional investors will always keep some dry powder in case the price goes lower. We are really in the middle of the road, and we don't know where the market's going to go. Trump could talk about more tariffs tomorrow and the market crashes again. So is it a good entry time? That's not for me to decide, my friend. It is for you to decide. So let me know your thoughts, your feelings on the crypto market. I'm here just to give you the facts, just to give you the facts. And now that you have the facts, it's up to you to do what you will with that and to be however high on the degen scale that you wish to be. But them's the facts, folks. Them's the facts. Let me know what you think. Where do you believe the market is? Are we going on a big trip up or are we going down? Are we going to get rinsed, my friends? Either way, let me know. Let me know your thoughts, your feelings on the subject. And if you've enjoyed this content, then please do subscribe to the channel if you're not already. If you want another video, you will find that just there, my friend. But either way, stay lunatic, have fun, and make money with crypto.